So let's just give a couple more minutes and then we'll start. Hi, everyone. I am one of the presenters. With me, Abhishek is also here. We will definitely introduce ourselves as we share the slide. Let me start sharing the slide and then. Great. Abhishek, is the slide visible? Can you confirm?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Let's just give a few more seconds and then we'll start.
Sure.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, evening, wherever you are. We are based out of India, so it's an evening for us. We are from EAC and Exchange Manageability team. My name is Aditya Mukund. I am the PM for Exchange Admin Center. Uh, of course, you will get this email ID of mine in the chat also. Abhishek will definitely post it. But, we just wanted to call this out at the very beginning that we really want to listen to all of you. We really want to understand all the problems that you are facing with the products, what new things that you want us to do in the upcoming year or so. And, please feel free to write to us, on these email IDs. So as I said, I'm Aditya. Abhishek, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Aditya. Hi, everyone. I'm Abhishek. I'm from the Exchange Online Manageability team. And like Aditya, I'm also really eager to hear from you on what are the investment areas that you would like us to focus on and what new features you would like to see in Exchange. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Abhishek. So the objective of this session is very simple. We did have one session yesterday where we presented what we have done in the last 1 year or so, what we are trying to do. We will recap and we'll give an overview to all of you about that as well. But a couple of things that we want to discuss with all of you is we want to understand the inhibitors, the blockers that you have while adopting to the new Exchange Admin Center. And at the same time, what are the inhibitors that you have adopting to V3 module on the manageability infra side? So that's the main agenda. We would love to understand what is causing you not to, come from old EAC to new EAC, what other things, what other areas that you want us to work on that will help us create the right roadmap, of course, going forward. At the same time, we would also like to understand what are the new needs that you have, what are the new requirements that you have that you want EAC team and of course the infra team to work on. So we will start, of course, with the overview, but these are the two main session objectives. Before we go to the next slide, we will keep asking you to give us feedback. There is this QR code in front of you on this very slide, and Abhishek will post this QR in the chat window also. He'll also post a Microsoft form link as well. Please fill this feedback. It's hardly 15 questions which talks about the same inhibitors, what are the additional needs and so on. And it will also give us your contact details so that in case we want to have more discussion, if you agree to have more discussion with the product teams, we will definitely reach out to you in coming months. So please feel free to scan the QR, click on the MS form link and give us the feedback. And of course, during the discussion, keep giving the feedback as well. So we'll start with the EAC and infra overview. We talked about three things on the new EAC front. The new EAC has become the default home for admins across all segments. We have about 1.5 million customers using new EAC per month. That's a great number. 1 year back, we were at 230K, and that's around 250% of increase in the usage of this new EAC portal. Of course, with people using any new thing, there will be pain points that the customers will have. And we did resolve uh, three, four main pain points that they had. We worked on performance. We worked on redesigning some of our pages because, admins were feeling that, the design is not intuitive enough. We came up with a lot of value additions. One of the uh, most demanded customer ask was dark mode, and new EAC does have the dark mode version as well. To help in the multi-tenant organizations scenarios, we also have a new feature called tenant switcher. When we started talking to more and more customers when they were adopting to new EAC, what we also realized is that people were not able to navigate across admin centers, navigate in the Exchange admin center easily, right? Because there were some design changes, of course, and that's why we have also come up with this new investment that we made called Global Search, which allows you to just type in the query on top of Exchange Admin Center. There is a box there. You might have used it already. And we are trying to help at least the major scenarios so that people can actually navigate to the functions that they are looking for, right? Uh, the last important thing that we did speak about yesterday and we would like to iterate is classic EAC. The new deprecation timeline is January 2023. As you might be aware, an year back, around September 2022, uh, sorry, September 2021, we announced over a blog that Classic EAC for worldwide customers is going to get deprecated. The timeline that we gave was around September 2022, but we will need 3-4 more months because there is feature parity concerns that our admins have, and that's why we have taken that decision to work on those feature parity items first, uh, alleviate all the pain points that our customers have, and help them with that easy migration from old EAC to new EAC. During the next 30-40 minutes, we would like to talk to all of you and understand what remaining problems that you have, and we will try our best to resolve them as soon as we can. On the manageability infrastructure, Abhishek talked about that the new V3 module is going to be generally available for all of you within a week from now on 20th September 2022. It is REST based. It is more secure. It has more reliability. It is definitely more performant vis-a-vis RPS commandlets. If you have already used it, you must have seen the performance enhancement in V3 module already. And the best part, which I personally like, is because the commanded claims are same, because the functionalities are same as RPS, you really don't need to modify scripts to adopt to these new commandlets. So the adoption of new V3 module should not be a big trouble. But of course, as I said, we would love to understand from all of you what could be the possible adoption blockers that you have. I'll again iterate. The QR code is mostly on all the slides. So, feel free to, start giving us the feedback in case you want. Great. So in the agenda, we have two basic things, both on EAC and on the V3 side. We want to understand what are the pain areas we should address immediately so that you can have that seamless transition to new EAC. And of course, we would love to talk about what is your wish list for Exchange Admin Center. At the same time, Abhishek, if you want to talk about what you have in your mind and why are we here with the customers? Abhishek?
No, I think, yeah, Aditya, I think you've put it aptly. We would love to hear from all the customers on the two key metrics here. If there are any adoption inhibitors that you foresee that you would want us to fix immediately or alter, we would love to know more about that. And also going forward for the longer term, we would love to hear on what investments would you like us to make, the areas that you would want us to focus on. So I think we should open this, and if you want to share any feedback, any suggestions, feel free to raise your hand, and uh, and speak on microphone, or you can put it on chat as well. Let's spend a few minutes here on this slide, Aditya, to just see
Sure.
the thoughts and inputs from the customers.
Sure. So we really want to open things for discussion, and feel free to ask questions. Our team is also here. The engineering team is also here, and we would love to answer as many questions as we can and understand the pain points, understand your wish list. Anyone with any questions on ESE, manageability infra, what are the problems that you are facing? We do have, we do know a few blockers that you might be having, but we would really love to hear from you first before we move to the next slides.
And just to call out, Aditya and I are operating under the assumption that you already have some context on the presentation yesterday about the V3 module, its advantages, as well as some of the new features of ESE. So in case you're not aware of that, do let us know. We can touch upon that as well.
So Abhishek, Nick has pasted a wish. Ability to update exchange fields in cloud that sync to on-prem AD. Okay. And we also have a hand raised. Brian. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you again. Thank you for attending the session yesterday as well.
Yeah, thanks for taking time to take questions. So one of the things that we notice is that we're doing syncing from on-prem to a cloud, and for term users, we have to remove licenses, and sometimes we have to actually update some of the fields in on-prem, and we want to see that the attribute get updated to Exchange. Maybe, I don't know, this is an Azure issue or Exchange. What we're saying is that if we don't have license, whatever that we update in Exchange doesn't get updated in Exchange Online, and unless we apply the license again, and then it gets updated. I'm just wondering, is there anything that is that why we have to have license to replicate the data from on-prem to Azure, and you have to have a license to do that? Is there? I guess that's one of the things that we're kind of running into. And so what we have, the workaround that we have to do is we have to temporarily assign license and then update the attribute and let it sync. Then we have to remove license, which just kind of creates extra work for no reasons. So I don't know if this is your area or Azure AD area, I guess, but
Sure. Sure, Brian. Thank you for the question. Scott, Nino, Bhalchandra, if you have any clarity here, I'm so sorry I'm putting you on spot, but if you have any clarity here, and if you can pitch in, otherwise we can understand more from Brian of what the actual scenario is.
Yeah, and I can give you one example. Like, for instance, we have a term user with our admin forgot to hide the mailbox. And then, that hiding mailbox should get replicated in cloud. But when license is not applied, that hide mailbox never gets checked in cloud. So what we have to do is we have to apply the license and then sync again, and then hide mailbox gets checked in cloud. Those kind of things. I'm not sure. I guess that's what I'm not sure if this is kind of, and that's an Exchange attribute, but it could be Azure attribute as well, I guess.
So just to, I think Nino will also pitch in, but just to give my perspective here. So Exchange is a vehicle here, and it's using the road or the surface that's built by AAD. So I think really the feedback here is for the AAD Connect team on managing that. Is that correct, Nino? I'm not sure if you can, yeah.
Yes, sorry. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I do believe that this is really an underlying issue that ultimately, unless the license is assigned, Exchange Online does not know that these attributes apply to that particular user. So I don't know.
Just to add,
I'm
there
not
are some
fully
valid
understanding.
scenarios as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was one question also on the chat session where they were saying some of the attributes or fields should be synced from cloud to on-prem. And one burning example that I saw earlier was the member of groups were not hidden, or the group members, if they are hidden in EXO, that is not synced to on-prem. I think that's a known issue that we have there. But again, it's up to the request has to go through the AD team. That's another. So I think the gist here is there needs to be better control or better. They are seeking improvement. The way AD Connect is syncing the fields from on-prem to EXO and then from EXO to on-prem. That's the gist here.
Okay, I mean that's something just feedback, and I mean right now we have a workaround. We were temporary sign license and let it sync, and it works. But it would be really nice to see that we don't actually have to apply license in order to hide the mailbox again for whatever reasons. Another really quick feedback is in Exchange new Exchange admin compared to the classic admin. I believe maybe it's fixed or not, but like when I go to look at someone's mailbox in new Exchange admin, and I can't see member of distribution list.
Right. So, Brian, I got your question. That feature was not there a month back, but that feature is now available. So let's say when you open a mailbox, there are like 5 pivots that open the way it used to be in old EAC, and there is just go to the last pivot called others, and under others you will be able to see that.
Okay, thank you. Now that's great. But one of the other complaints that we get from customers a lot is, like I said, when someone gets termed, we don't delete their mailbox right away. But for some reason, that mailbox doesn't get removed from distribution list, and it's kind of confusing for the user because they look at the property of that user and they don't see that distribution. They don't belong to any distribution list, but in fact, they do belong to distribution list in Exchange Admin Center, but it doesn't show in Outlook. And
got it. So Brian, no, thank you for both the questions, Brian. For the first question that you are asking, we are definitely not the right team to answer that question, Brian. But what I will definitely do is fill the form that we have shared with you, so that we can, get your contact details, and let me reach out to you to understand that issue. Because if there is some internal team that can help us with that, and if that makes a good business case for them, we can definitely push internally to resolve this particular customer issue that you are facing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Josh, I see there is a question on can the session timeout for new EAC be increased? Yes, we understand that there is this page refresh issue that is coming, and let's say if you just keep the page inactive for 10-15 minutes, suddenly the session timeouts. The good thing is we are working on it. We are actually on top of it, and hopefully by the end of this month, that issue should get resolved, Josh. So I think my team has already liked that comment. No, actually, a couple more people have liked that comment. So for both Andrew, Patrick, and Josh, I hope that answers your question. We hope to resolve that within this month itself. Okay,
Aditya, I think his page refresh and 500 error are two different things. Probably we can connect offline with Josh and check that.
Okay. Sure. Josh, there is session timeout issue that is in new EAC. If please fill the feedback form so that we can contact you after the session. And if this is a little different scenario, then we would take that understanding from you and we'll fix it for you. Okay. We'll go to the next Abhishek, do you want to take that question? Laura is saying, will all RPS commands be available in V3 and in V2? Can't use set unified group, for example, but we can use get unified group.
Sure. Yeah, I'll start and then Pallavi. I think Pallavi's already responded to that. Yes, so all REST commandlets will be available in the V3 module. Everything that you have currently on RPS will be available. And the set unified group commandlet, it only doesn't work in a few scenarios. But the recommended way, and this came up yesterday as well, so the recommended way for managing it is using graph. So we'll do that. I also wanted to touch upon one small little detail here. So as some of you might have might be aware that basic auth deprecation is underway, and I think it's starting October 1st. So for all the customers who are using V1 of the PowerShell, a remote PowerShell, which is the earliest version of this module, wherein it comes bundled with PowerShell, you don't need to download anything to connect to Exchange Online when you're using V1. That does not support modern auth. It needs basic auth, and about 35 to 40% of customers use use V1 at least once in a month. So for all those customers still using it, V1 will stop working once basic auth deprecation kicks in. So in that scenario, it would be useful to migrate early before the deprecation kicks in to one of the new versions. And the V3 module that we've just launched is the commandlet signature remains the same. So you don't need to change your scripts. You can simply download this and get started. And in case you run into any issues, Aditya shared our email addresses at the beginning. Do let us know any feedback on that. We are happy to address any questions here as well. So just thought we'd share that.
Thank you, Abhishek. We go. I hope we are resolving at least a part of the question. People, in case you have more questions, keep asking. Nick, there is a wish that you have. It's a very unique wish that I can see. You are saying incorporate modules from other admin centers, that is compliance search, right? Can you talk a little more about it so that we can understand that wish a little better, Nick? I'm not sure if Nick is here, but I think he is trying to say that there are different features in different admin centers, and if we can incorporate few modules or few features from, say, compliance. But let's hear from Nick if he is still in the meeting. Let me go back. Proxy address, hide from address book. Yeah, great. So let me go back to the slide. There are few adoption blockers that we definitely, are hearing like from the feedback that we get on a daily basis, right? There are 3-4 ways in which EAC definitely gets feedback. There is this give feedback widget. There is a support central widget. And then there are a couple of forms that you get, which we call NPS survey and PSAT survey. We, as a team, try to make sure that we read every comment that you make. Please, whoever is in the meeting, I really encourage them to give us their email IDs when they are writing those feedbacks, because that helps us reach back to you in case we need more clarity. But there are 3-4 things that we definitely want to talk about. Let me go to what we did on performance. And if there are any questions in between, please feel free to type in the chat. So performance investments, 6 or 8 months back, we definitely knew that one of the blockers that people might be having on Exchange Admin Center adoption is that the classic new EAC performance was a little slow. we understood that the page load time of mailbox, resource, and contacts, the top 3 pages that people are usually visiting, that was taking a lot of time. So the list was taking a lot of time. There was a search box. Anybody saying something? Okay. So there was a search box which was again causing some problem, because of which people were not able to search for the mailbox or the resource mailbox or mail contacts seamlessly. And we also understood that once you put in the search query, the results of that search was also taking a lot of time. We worked on all these 3 issues, and we are happy to say that the page load time in all these scenarios is less than 2 seconds now. It's better than classic EAC, and I hope that you can see that change in new EAC now with your tenants. There is a mailbox delegation issue that keeps coming in our feedback, and we have actually worked on it. It required a little more engineering work from our side, but that work has also been prioritized. And if I am not wrong, it is either already in production, or if not, by the end of the month, the mailbox delegation experience will also be enhanced performance wise. So we know of these 3-4 major issues that people were having in new EAC adoption. But as my query says in the slide, please let us know what are the scenarios, what are the other scenarios where you are facing slow performance issues, so that we can put it in our priority list and resolve those. So I'll wait for 5 minutes here, and just want to understand from people if they are facing any performance issues. Okay, so Matthew Carroll is saying interacting with mailbox migrations needs some perf and usability improvements. Great. So Matthew, just for my understanding, what you are trying to say here is when you are trying migration from Exchange Online or migration to Exchange Online, which is also called onboarding or offboarding, that is taking a lot of time. And you are saying that there could be some perf improvement there. Feedback well taken, Matthew. We will definitely relay this concern to our partner team who works on migration. If you can,
Yeah.
if you can,
So
yeah.
Let me clarify just a little bit. So the migration page in the new AAC, the ability to sort objects, to be able to find migrations that may have failed quickly, being able to easily do some of that stuff. And I feel like it takes a long time for the list to load of mailboxes that are moving, especially when the list is a large list. And the classic EAC, looking at that data is just so much easier and faster.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying, Matthew. I'm just making those notes here itself. What I do know is that the MRS team, the migration team, is working on enhancing the performance, Matthew. But let me get back to you. Please fill the form, as I said, so that we can, reach out to you after these meetings as well. And let me sync up with the migration team, and we will get back to you of what all the improvements that they have planned, right? For example, there were 2-3 feature parity issues that our customers were facing. The migration from Exchange Online feature was not there in new EAC. Just last week, we released that feature. There was another feature that people were looking for, which is called skipped item details. That will also be with our customers within a week or so. And there was another feature where people were complaining about, new EAC migration page not being usable, which was related to having a different way to create a migration endpoint and manage a migration endpoint. So all these 3 things are planned by the migration team, and we are also working on the performance. But please fill the form, and we will get back to you with clear roadmap items on performance improvements that you are talking about, Matthew. Thank you for the question.
No, thank you.
Okay, I will wait for 5 minutes, because I know performance is always on customers' mind, and we we really want to, work on the scenarios where you are facing issues. So feel free to talk more about the scenarios where you are facing issues. Abhishek, I hope we are good on time, right?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. So there, I don't see if there are any more questions on performance, but no, as I said, please fill the form. Please let us know what are the scenarios where you are facing that slow performance issues, and we'll make sure that we prioritize that, because we really want your old to new AAC transition to be seamless, and yeah. So that's the performance investments that we made in the last 6-8 months. Let me go to the next slide. Now, the other major feedback that we understood people were giving was the ease of administration. And when we try to understand what do they mean by ease of administration, what we understood is that the new EAC design, because they were so familiar with old EAC, right? It has always been there. People are so used to old EAC. It had so many features. It had compliance features, advanced threat features, mail flow features, which then went to security and compliance admin center, and now they are back to new EAC. So uh, what we understood is two things. They were saying that the design that we have in new EAC, especially for mailbox, resource, and contacts, the pivot design that we have come up with, it is not arranged properly, right? And we connected with our customers, we understood what their problem was, and we have the improved design of mailbox already in production. If you open a mailbox, you will see that there are 5 pivots the way it was in classic EAC. Classic EAC had 7 or 8 pivots. We have made it 5. We have clubbed a few things together, but it has definitely made that design more intuitive. We have taken that inspiration from old EAC so that admins doesn't have to change a lot of their habits. We are on similar scale. We are working on improving the design of resources and contacts. In a month or so, both those two designs will also be with you. So the design feel for mailbox, resource, and contacts will be very similar to what you incurred in classic EAC. And I hope that resolves the problem of finding where things have gone and so on. Now, uh, just by giving that design, it doesn't solve the problem, because when you are asking people to come from old EAC or any old product to a new product, right? They will have problems of discoverability. They will have problems of not finding things at the right place because it's a new design finally. So we understood that issue as well, right? And what we figured out is, if we can give them a search option, right? And we call it global search. We have already released that global search option. You can see on top of our portal that there is a search box where, let's say, if you search for mailbox, right, we will actually take you to mailbox. If you search for message trace, which is another feature in new EAC, we will take you to message trace. Now, by global search, we did not want to do only that. We also wanted to do 2 more things, right? What were those 2 things? One, we also knew that a few features have moved to, say, MS Purview or Compliance Admin Center and so on. And that's why people were still looking for it in new EAC, which is not going to be the case in the near future. And that is why, let's say you are looking for a feature called spam filter, which was available in classic EAC but is not available in new EAC. If you type in spam filter, we are actually taking you to the compliance admin center where that new spam filter experience is provided by our team, by a different team, of course, under Microsoft. So cross admin scenarios is what we call them internally, but that navigation is also something that we worked on. There was one other complaint that people had was custom attribute design. We have custom attribute feature in mailboxes, and we are working on custom attribute design in resources and contacts. What we realized is that the custom attribute doesn't work very nicely the way it used to work in old DAC. And we heard your comments, and we are working on making it very, very, very similar to how it is in old DAC, so that people will be more happy with that custom attribute experience. Again, I'll take a pause here. My query here is, what other areas you find the EAC team should work on from the design side? If you have used global search, what problems are you facing there? If you have used the other features page, which again we have put for easy navigation of our admins, if you face any issues there, how can we resolve those issues is we would love to discuss. So we are open to discussion again if you have any questions. Uh, if you are, maybe not comfortable asking the question here, please fill the form. As I said, we will get back to you so that we can understand your problems better. And, if there are no questions here, I don't want to take it in a manner that, there are no issues that our customers have, because, that can't be the case. So please feel free to, jump into the discussion. It's a roundtable discussion. We would love to know more.
And even if you have questions on any topic other than what you see on the slide, please feel free to suggest that as well. We're looking for any feedback that would help you get a better experience from our side.
Cool. I'll take it as our admins are very happy, Abhishek. So yeah, message trace, add contains filter, not just starts with and is. A way to set delegation so we can access on iOS instead than setting full mailbox permission. Okay, so Josh, message trace, it add contains filter, not just starts with and is. Yeah, so the way I understand this, Josh, is that under message trace, there is a filter option that we have given, and it has a contains filter. Oh, it doesn't have the contains filter, and you would like us to add that contains filter. Okay, the feedback is well taken, Josh. Let me speak with the message trace team that we have, and I will relay this request of yours. Just one quick question, Josh, though. Was it available in old DAC? If you can confirm that. Right. So it has starts with.
I don't believe it can use the message trace in the old EAC anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not available in old DAC anymore, Josh. Yes, you are right. But I was just trying to ask if it was ever available, like this functionality of contains filter. Was that ever available in old DAC? Just a question that I had in mind.
Yeah, previously it was a little different. Like when you did a message trace and you're looking at your results, you could just at the top of the column, you could type in, like, say, subject. You could type in any part of the subject and it would give you the results. And that was pretty helpful.
Okay. Okay, Josh. Cool. So we have anyway recorded this session, Josh. Please, as I'm so sorry, I am saying it a lot many times, but please fill the form so that we can get back to you if we want to understand more. Thank you, Josh, for talking about message trace, because yeah, that's another thing that keeps coming in customer feedback, right? They say that message trace design is not good, but when we try to reach out to them, we are actually not able to reach out to most of the customers, so that we are not able to understand the real problem here. But thanks for this comment, Josh. I will talk to message trace team and I'll relay this concern for sure. Right, again, just to understand, you are looking for an add contains filter, like you have starts with an is, right? Great. I think it was liked by Jeremy. So Jeremy was also facing this issue. So let me work with my team here and I'll get back to you, Josh and Jeremy. Great. let's go to Laura. A way to set delegation on shared mailboxes so we can access on iOS instead than setting. So Laura, if I understand the question clearly, we have a functionality called mailbox delegation where we have three kinds of things, right? We have send as permissions, send on behalf permissions, and full access permissions, right? And you are looking for a functionality where we can access on iOS instead than setting. Vijay, Bhalchandra, Nino, if you have understood the question, or Laura, if you can, help us understand this question a little better.
Yeah, I think I know what the question is. I think actually what is going on here is that the Outlook mobile team has the ability to open shared mailboxes, but only if somebody is given mailbox rights rather than the folder rights. So in other words, you're not able to open just you cannot be given just access to one of the folders and then open that folder as a shared folder. But I believe that's a design really of Outlook mobile rather than because Exchange can, on Exchange server side, you are able to share a mailbox in a way that you can share a particular folder rather than the folder level. But it is the Outlook for iOS and Android, which has taken the direction of allowing only shared mailboxes to be opened if you were given permissions on a whole mailbox. So I want to say that if I understood correctly, that this is basically a design choice on the Outlook mobile side, and I think I want to say that feedback that's where the feedback should go if customers feel like they would really like that feature, unless somebody else understood that question differently.
Thanks, Nino. Let's see if Laura can confirm our understanding.
Yeah, she did say do in Outlook, like in Outlook desktop, it works, and in OWA it works, but not in Outlook mobile. Yeah.
Okay, so it's more for the Outlook mobile team to look into this request. Yeah. Okay. We'll try to relay the concern, Laura, to the concerned team. But yeah, I'll have to figure out who the right person would be for this. Brian, you have your hand raised.
Yeah. So this feature was not available in Classic or New either, but this is regarding distribution list ownership. When a distribution list can have multiple owners, but only the top person shows up in Outlook as an owner. When someone is trying to look for owner, it doesn't list all owners, but just one top. And sometimes we get requests when we have 5 different owners and they want to have this particular person as an owner of the distribution list, even though there are 5 in there. And the only way for us to do is remove everyone and re-add everyone in order. But if there is a way to move those users to the top without having to remove and re-add, that'd be kind of nice feature. But it's not it doesn't happen very often, but that's something if you are looking for something to do, there would be a nice feature for customers. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who runs into this issue or not, but I have certainly run into many issues with the customers because even though there are 5 owners, the only first they try to contact this owner, and they, a lot of times they say, "Oh, I'm not the main owner. You need to contact this person." So those are the workflows that we can try to smooth out for customers.
Sure, Brian. So I just wrote that the wish list is that, when you check for the DL owners in Outlook, and if there are multiple owners, the first owner is the only one that is visible. The top person is visible, and the other people are not even visible there, Brian, right?
Correct.
And if you want to make them visible, the only thing that you need to do is you need to remove, the remaining people so that this person goes on top.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
instead of that, if you can move that sort order, whoever you want to move that to the top instead of removing and re-adding, those are just it's a wish list. It's not something that's not causing a lot of issues, but
sure, Brian. And Jane Conforti also said we put extra owners in the comment field. Okay. Jeremy has a question. A wish list, a way to manage calendar permission in would be great. Okay, we often have shared only for their calendars. Manage calendar via PowerShell, but being able to review. Okay, so Jeremy, thank you for this wish list. I mean, you are saying that it is already available as part of PowerShell, but you would love to have a UX option, UI option as well. Okay, so let me put it in the backlog. We will reach out to you, Jeremy. Please fill the form so that, if we need more clarity, it will be easy for us to reach out to you. Thank you. Okay.
Aditya, we have
yes.
4 more minutes to go. So
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So there are feature parity investments that we have definitely made. We are going to, so a couple of things, skipped item details, migration endpoint functionality, we are going to release soon. Wipe mobile data functionality, which is another remaining thing on parity perspective. That is also something that we will be releasing very soon by the end of this month itself. And of course, we are working on new design for public folder and organization. But, if you have top feature parity concerns and, you have written to us about the wish list, but my last question here is what additional admin capabilities would you like to see? Please feel free to write to us in the form through the QR code in the chat, and we will take it up. But over to you, Abhishek. I'm so sorry I took a lot of time, but over to the last slide.
No worries. Thanks, Aditya. So on the manageability infra side, just wanted to touch upon the latest themes of investments that have gone into this. So over the last couple of years, our intent has been to secure and modernize the infrastructure with the V3 commandlets. Now we've been able to do that. All the commandlets would be available on REST, and they'd be more secure, more reliable, and more performant, as you would have seen in the video yesterday. We're also looking to deprecate some of the legacy tech that we've been using. For instance, the V1 MFA module, the deprecation is scheduled for end of this year. You will also hear an RPS deprecation announcement coming up in a couple of months, maybe. And don't worry, we will give you enough time to deprecate that, but just making sure I get the info out there. And so we've been able to achieve the feedback that was coming from you. If there's anything else, so currently we are focused on making incremental improvements with this GA version. We have some backlog, but if there are any additions, any major experience improvements that you would like us to focus on, as Aditya said, please fill the form or type it out in the chat. I understand most of the users here look like they're more familiar and more heavy users of the EAC, but in case you want any improvements on the infra side as well, please do let us know. So that's all from our side, Aditya.
Sure. Let's just see. So you can see in GAL. Okay. Matthew, a fly out to see more owners in the client at OVA would be awesome. Okay. So, we are displaying our email IDs to all of you. Please feel free to write it somewhere, and you are free to write to us anytime if you come up with a wish list. Yeah, if you have any issues, please feel free to reach out to me, Aditya Mukund. If you have any EAC related query, if you have infra related query, you can reach out to Abhishek, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. We are the same team, just having a little different responsibilities. Any more questions before we close this session? Thank you, everyone, to be here. And we would love to know a little more about you. We would love to understand the admin journey in and out so that we can create better products in future for you. any more questions, we are here for 3-4 more minutes. I can be here for more if you want. Okay.
Looks like we're good.
Looks like we are good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, my team, EAC team, manageability team, engineers from both the teams were also here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nino, Balchandra. Thanks, Abhishek. Let's wait. Let's wait for 2-3 more minutes and then we can drop.
Great. I think we look good to close this. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. See you in the next session. Thanks.
Thank you.